Okay, this is Flyers lesson plans for weeks 1 and 2 of February. Right here on the little mini trampoline, they can do their tuck jumps, straddle jumps, pike jumps. They can do their split jumps, and they can work on all those. And that's really your choice. On the cheese mat, this is also your choice. You can start out with front rolls. If their front rolls are looking great, then you can work on their back rolls. If their back rolls are looking good, you can work on their bridge up kickovers. Make sure their bridges, their heads are off the ground before we're moving on. And then they can work on their kickover with straight legs. And then also, if they're really progressing well, they can start on the end of the cheese mat and they can do their back bend up the cheese mat and then try to stand up from that. And then, of course, if they have all that down pat, go to the back walkovers because we want to keep these kids moving on so they're happy and progressing. This station here, this is a hard station. So what you're doing here is you're focusing on vault entry or handstand vault entry. So this is the shape we want them in coming over into the vault station. So when they're here and they've hit the mat, then that's when they're driving their heels up into handstand. If they have this, and this is looking really good, they can start with the jump only if they're able to control that handstand. Then they can jump and control and then push through the shoulders. Okay, on the next station, they're going to work on their handstand. Their hands are trying to be on the squeaker, and I want to see toes and nose on the wall, nothing else touching. A good hollow round shape here. On the next station, they're going to do their prep turns. So prep turns, they're walking and they're going to tiptoe into releve, and then they can step again and do that all the way down the beam. Then once they have that and they're able to balance and stay on, which I feel that they'll be able to do that, make sure they're going into passe. Passe is toe to knee when they're doing these prep turns. When they're doing the actual turns, their toe is to their knee in passe. They're holding a beach ball. Pretend they're holding a beach ball in the left hand if they're turning to the left. And then their right hand will come into the left hand and their arms are going to come up to their ears to do the turn. And then that is what we want to see for their turns. On this next station, they're going to run, jump, arm circle, punch up to their feet for vault. Arm circle, punch, and hold. Now when they're doing that, I want to see them do the arm circle, and when they're hitting the arm circle onto the mat, just do it slowly. Just come to stand on the feet. When they're actually hitting their feet, the feet that are on the springboard, their arms are down, and as they're going up, they're swinging up. So they're trying to compress that springboard down and then jump up with their arms. On the next station, they're doing their sit-ups, and they're sitting up and down. Next section, they're going to work on their front roll. When they're doing this, I want to see their feet together, their knees together. They're not using their hands to touch in between the rolls. This athlete is a little long for the line, so they should be able to fit in the line, but if not, that's great too. Here, they're going to just work on jump ropes, working on rhythm, working on getting coordination with their arm circles. If they're doing really good jumping forwards, do it backwards because that's exactly the arm circle we're looking for when they're doing their vault board entry or springboard entry. Right here, they're going to work on their cartwheels. If they have a really good cartwheel, move them on. If they're doing their cartwheel, their hands, their feet are on the line. When they're doing their cartwheel on the line, another thing that I've been seeing, and it's my pet peeve, is make sure they're turning that hand into the other when they're doing their cartwheel. And you can call it parking the car in the garage, making a T with your hands, something to cue them to get that correct because it's really important for later down the road, especially for round-offs. And it's a lot easier to do your cartwheel on the beam if your hands are correct. Right. Then the next thing, if they're doing really well at the cartwheels, make it harder. Let's do it from our knee. Let's cartwheel from our knee, and then they're really having to push and kick that back leg. They have that great. Let's make it harder. Let's always be making these skills harder to make it challenging for the child. Next thing they're going to do is their cartwheel step in if they have a really good cartwheel. And when they're doing the cartwheel step in, I want to see them going into tiptoe, and I want to see them falling backwards because then it's getting them ready for that round off, and it's also getting them ready for their back handspring to come after the round off. Then if they have their cartwheel step in really well, then they can move on to their round-offs. And I want to see a rebound afterwards. And I want to see as they're jumping up, the arms are coming up with them, but keeping their ribs in, okay? So don't have an arch going out of the round-off. So try it one more time. And hold and arms. Good. They don't have to be all the way up. They can be in front, but I definitely don't want them all the way down to their legs. And then that is their Flyers lesson plans for weeks 1 and 2 of February. Okay, this is the Flyers lesson plans for bars weeks 1 and 2 of February. Right here on the rope, they are going to work on climbing the rope. If they can't climb the rope, just do a hang on the rope. If they can hang, then progress them to climbing. If they can climb, then take out their legs. Make sure they're not swinging on the rope because it's going to be extra dangerous this week because the beam is right there. And I don't want them standing on the beam and swinging like Tarzan. I know I've called a few kids down for the past couple of weeks about swinging on the rope. Be conscious of that. That rope also wasn't made for swinging, so please don't swing on the rope. On this next bar, they are going to do inverted hangs. So they're trying to bring their hips up to the bar with their arms straight, and they're trying to get their toes over the head because that's what they're going to have to do for pullovers and back hip circles. On this next station, they are going to walk the wall. Really good hollow position. Focus in on that. Fix them. Pull their ribs in, arms and ears together at all times. Then the next station here, they are going to do a pike sit and reach. When they're doing their pike sit and reach, try to get them to hold it. Don't just try to let them push it, and try to keep their legs straight when they're doing it. The next station, they are going to hold a hollow. The bar is over the head or the PVC pipe. They're looking up at the pipe. They're holding their toes up. They're holding their shoulders up. They're really good position here. And then that's what I'm looking for. If they're really good, they can add the rock. On the next station, they're going to do reverse tuck-ups with the foam rollers. So their hands are going on the floor. They're good hollow. And they're bringing their knees up to the chest. And they're pushing it back out. Up to the chest and back out. The following station is going to be a front roll on the bar. This is a station you need to keep your eyes on because they will let go and they will land on their heads. So make sure you're telling them to do not let go of the bar. And if they need help, lower the bar and help them out a little bit if they need it. On the next station, they're going to work on their casts again because I really want to focus on that. When they're doing their casts, make sure they're in a good hollow position. They're pushing the bar down to their thighs and they're kicking their feet back and they're not kicking and arching because that defeats the whole point of a cast. So make sure they're keeping a good hollow position and using their booty to kick their legs. On the following station, they are going to do chin-ups with their feet on the little half moon. So their hands are going to go on the bar and they're going to pull their chin up. If this is too easy, raise the bar. If that's too easy, then take the Pac-Man away and make them do normal chin-ups or pull-ups. This would be technically pull-ups. On the next station, they're going to do their normal. So they're going to do pullovers. And then they can do their cast, back hip circle. And then if their cast, back hip circles are looking really good, they can do their front hip circle and pushing up. And then that is our stations for Flyers, bars, weeks 1 and 2 of February.